And it drives me crazy. But every time you have to do an update, I have to relearn it. And I'm thinking it's complex and like, oh, how do I upload this to Steam? But then like, if you do the right stuff, it's literally 2 clicks. Like I just have to change where it gets the file from, and then I just press upload, and then set it as default. So like, oh, that's
nice.
I forgot to get it.
Alright.
So that's my kick right now.
That's really cool.
Alright, we are live, everyone. So we're technically being recorded.
Changed. Stuff like this. Oh, hey. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite games.
What I find most annoying about the Steam such setting is changing all the images to the right format so that it'll put it
I
on the
love
same
that.
page.
That's great.
Like it doesn't automatically formats, and so
It's really cool. I can't wait to see more of your stuff.
like I'm not a
It
big.
was Andrew.
I don't like doing
Adrian. I'm so
as
sorry.
much
Oh,
as
no,
anything
it's
else.
easy. It's
So
just
doing all that art.
Oh, okay, great. I'll keep that up here. Thanks. Sorry, I'm glad I double checked. Would have memorized Andrew.
I'm awful with names, so
I'm gonna
Me
do
too.
that.
I don't take it.
I've
do the
always got to
intro.
ask two or three times.
Alright, guys.
Well, he's got to do
Yeah,
that.
we gotta do the intro.
Alright, so thank you for joining us today. We're here thanks to Techlahoma, our volunteers and speakers. Techlahoma is a non-profit volunteer-run organization that puts on 39 groups, 2 conferences, and sponsors free local grassroots Techlahoma.
Sorry, I missed it.
And you're
local
kind of
events.
out of frame too.
I know, I'm trying to get the audio, trying to be close enough. We do all of this to support the mission to advance the grassroots tech community of Oklahoma, and you can learn more at techlahoma.org. So I actually really do recommend going to techlahoma.org because it's more than just like Tulsa game devs. Like, if you're a web developer, I don't have artists yet. We're working on it.
Yeah,
Just,
there's a bunch of web dev meetings and agile practitioner meetings that happen every month as well.
Yeah, the Agile one is huge, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
I've only been to it once, and so I mean, way more than we get, and stuff like that.
If I remember right, there's also supposed to be a DevOps Lego and chocolate thing going on in June, right?
I haven't seen that announced, but also I kind of really suck at looking at when things are actually happening until last minute on that. I have my stuff figured out of when it's going on. Okay, so we are at 36 Degrees North. 36 Degrees North donates the space for us to meet. They also offer free workshops as well as co-working desks and offices for a monthly fee. You can find more information at the front desk over there. And then finally, I just want to say thank you for joining. So the theme for tonight is urban entrepreneur. We got a release game. And so we're gonna quiz Ches on what it was like to get to this point. So if you guys anyone have any opening questions, or I have my list of questions.
You have any questions?
She already knows everything.
Yeah, I know I already asked you this earlier, but for the live stream, can you describe what it was like working with Steamworks?
Oh, you just want to record it now?
I suppose so.
Yeah, so importing stuff into Steamworks looks harder than what it ends up being. Is what I find. Like, it feels daunting whenever I first get into it because I have to read up all of this stuff. I'm like, oh, well, at the end of the day, it's like more integrated and well user friendly than what it appears. Something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of true for a lot of things. A lot of things look daunting until you dip your toes.
Yeah, like I think there's Base Punch. I don't know if that rings any bells.
Yeah.
But it's a way of handling integration with Steam and lots of different services like Unity. And so all you have to do is unlock your I think it was Base Punch.
It's a launch party for Chez's game.
But yeah, it was just the name of the Git file in which you have to download. But anyway, once you get that integrated in with Unity, everything's literally like one line. Like get Steam name or logo, initialize Steam, get Steam name, and unlock Steam achievement. Quote, here's your Steam achievement name, and then boom, it's in the game. Stuff like that.
Really, that's simple.
The engines make it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they work really well with all these big big companies and stuff.
So what's your game about? What's the elevator pitch?
Well, this is Urban Entrepreneur. It is a management simulator game. Does anyone here ever play like RimWorld? Kind of. That was kind of the basis for at least the art style and how the units move and stuff like that. But it's got colony simulation type stuff. More or less, it's management simulation for a grocery store. And so you,
We
as
got
the
pizza.
manager, manage your staff, everything from your products that they sell, staffing them onto shelves, with stockers, cleaning the store, janitors, cashing people out with checkouts and everything like that. You also have competitors later in which you have to outmaneuver them in several different ways depending on which level it is, because each level is very dynamic. The first level, all you have to do is earn money. Second level, you just have to beat the competitor by any means, which kind of teaches you advertising, which advertising is very OP in that second level. And then the third level, it strips all that away. Whenever there's only 25 customers, you don't have a lot of income. So you have to figure out other ways of surviving. And in that level, you're actually losing money for most of the game. So it kind of flips the other two levels on its head. And so on gets more complex, adds more items. There's about 21 items if you include the special items in the game, but obviously the first level only has like 3. It kind of staggers around, slowly increases. And each of the different item types have different things, like electronics obviously never decay and they sell for a lot of money, but you can't store them very high, etc. Not many people want to buy electronics very often, so you got to convince them like, hey, this new shiny tablet, you want it, and you got to keep pushing advertisements for it. But the advertisements with electronics, with phones and laptops and stuff, will pay itself off. But if you're over here throwing thousands of dollars at advertising oranges, it kind of balances out. It could.
Yeah, it could. That sounds really cool. So how did it? Sorry, Mom.
Is it usually this fast? And
No, this is sped up just for the background. If you wiggle the mouse, this is actually the main start screen. So rather than go ahead and move it, it's just a background for the main start screen. This way. That's just a little file.
So did you do any what was the process of creating the in-game content? How did that come to be?
Yeah, a lot of balancing and stuff like that. Obviously, I initially wanted everything to be a realistic price, but very quickly in development, I realized that's not going to be a possibility. So I had to sell bananas for like $22 a pop, just to make the game fun and playable.
Sure.
And stuff like that. But it's still balanced in its own way. I have an Excel spreadsheet that goes through and like, okay, this is the base price for the item. This is the price multiplier. So this is what you sell it for at one times price. This is adjusted prices. And this is how many of those items the customer would want to buy, how frequently, and stuff like that. And then all of those have like a balance and scale. Like I said, electronics, they're high sell, but people will buy them very infrequently. And there's stuff like mushrooms and grapes, which people would buy all the time, but they're extremely cheap. And so most of your money is just going into the labor of stocking those items on the shelves more than actually getting that money back. But if you don't sell those items and your competitor does, then the customers will actually start to prefer the other store more because they have that item and you don't. And so there's lots of different things you got to weigh into, stuff like that. And on the easy mode, you don't have to weigh that heavily into it. Whenever you get into the bigger difficulties where the taxes are increased and stuff like that, you actually got to manage everything more diligently. So that's that layer of complexity and a high ceiling to this game.
Yeah, that sounds really fun.
So when did you start? Do you remember like a general time to now? Like what's the length of time?
About a year and a month-ish. Yeah, I know. So CSGC was a little over a year ago, and I know I had been working on the game for like a month or two before it.
CSGC, that was like canceled recently, right?
It was, unfortunately. Yeah, that was the last winter. This was it. This was the last winner.
Did you put that on Steam, the page that you were a winner for that?
Yeah, it's like in a
Okay.
little
Little
award
thing.
section.
Yeah, okay,
But,
just making
I tried adding the picture and I didn't realize I didn't know how to add pictures to Steam. So.
It's where you do your screenshots at, isn't it?
I have it uploaded to that Steam page, but you have to like bracket it in a certain way.
Yeah.
And it wasn't working for me, but I didn't spend much time on it either. It was just a picture.
Yeah.
So whenever I figure out how to get GIFs working, I'll also figure out how to upload the pictures. Such.
What do you want your players to walk away with? What's your ideal player experience when they either finish a level or put it down for the night?
So the core gameplay loop is both fulfilling and engaging in a way in which, as you see them stock the shelves, for instance, you feel rewarded slightly, and to an extent in which you don't even realize 30 minutes have passed.
Okay.
Um,
One more turn into
Yeah, I find myself when I run testing and stuff like that, it takes so long testing because the levels take a long time, but it doesn't ever feel like it takes a long time. I'd look up and I'm like, oh shit, it's been 2 hours. And I think I'm halfway through this level. Like, oops.
All right, so you use Unity. What did you learn in Unity that you're like, hey, you guys, pay attention to this because it might come bite you in the butt later on if you don't do it right, or here's an easier way I found to do something, or oh, I didn't even know this thing existed, anything like that that
Yeah.
just advice for other Unity users.
I've learned a lot of small stuff throughout the course of this project. I went really deep into save and load systems, so you can save and load at any point in time in this game, which comes with a lot of bugs. It's just magic. It's kind of what it feels like at first. Now, the more and more I dig into it, the more I understand it. But yeah, it's not like the same as placing the game object, because whenever you load, you can't save set game object. So you have to save, like, for instance, what I usually do is a string of that game object, and then I have to spawn that game object and give it values that the previous game object does. So like a customer, for instance, I can't just respawn the customer. It doesn't work like that. I have to spawn a new customer, and then I have to load the values of a different customer, of the saved customer, and I have to relate that to this customer in particular. So like where its location was, I have to save its location, but I have to save that location to that customer, but I can't save that location to that customer because I know a customer no longer exists when I press load. And so you spawn a customer in and you set it to those variables, and then it's not the same customer, but it's a customer that was doing something nearly identical to what the other customer was doing.
The save load system, you say it also saves what the customer is doing?
Kind of, yeah. I restart the animation, so you'll see a little bit of wonkiness. Like if an employee was holding an item whenever you press save and you press load, the first thing he's going to do is return it to the stock file, because that's their default. If, hey, I don't know what I'm doing and I'm holding an item, I'm going to return it. And stuff like that. You'll see a little bit of quirkiness. A customer that's already put all of his items on the register waiting to be checked out. If you save when he has no items and you load in, he'll just be like, why am I here? And he just leaves. Stuff like that, you know, happens to the best of us. We have some little quirks, but yeah, I wouldn't save and load like every 5 seconds because you'll probably get nowhere in the game, but if it's like once every more than a minute, you'll still see progress. Obviously.
Yeah. So did you know a lot of C# before going into Unity, or did you
This is my third published game, so I've been doing it for a little bit. So yeah, I'm teetering on the edge of like advanced, I think. Went through most of the, I'm obviously way past beginner. I figured all that out. There's no beginner tutorial I can look up other than be like, okay, how do I write a for each loop again? Even though I know exactly what it does, I just don't want to be like messing something up. But, so yeah, I've been doing it for a little bit. 2018 is when I dug really deep into this kind of stuff. Been doing it off and on for a while.
That's almost about the same time I started getting there as well.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Those are good years.
6 years. PlayStation 4 came out in 2013.
I feel my gray hairs popping out.
Xbox was 30 years ago.
It'll definitely take a while to beat this game. If you tried to 100% it,
It'll probably take you a long time.
if you wanted to beat each level one time, it'll still take you more than Steam's refund policy. So try that at least.
Is it only on Steam or is it on,
It's only on Steam as of right now.
when is this, just coming today or?
Yeah, 2 p.m. today.
Congrats.
Nice.
Some people, yeah, about 10 people. Daniel twice, apparently.
Yeah. He loved it so much, he wanted to play it twice at the same time.
You considering other storefronts as well?
I don't know what it's like to port the game over to Epic, but I would imagine it wouldn't be too terrible. So,
And I figure that itch.io would be really easy, right?
itch.io, it's over the 1 gig limit, so I would have to email them and request that it goes over that, but it was on itch until I reached that point. There's a 1 gig limit of like just drag and dropping it in as a zip file. After that, you have to request access for over a gig, and I never did that. So, but I didn't get much traffic through itch anyway, so I'm not too motivated to republish it there.
I would try Epic, but I would start going. There's Green Man Gaming, GOG, and a bunch of others. You're gonna get denied, but I would just try and go with all of them.
I wasn't familiar with this Green Man Dog thing.
Green Man Gaming is one, and then GOG, Good Old Games.
Yeah, GOG, maintained by CD Projekt Red, actually.
Yeah.
Known for the best works in gaming, obviously.
Yeah.
That was how they got started. They were in the game preservation. And they realized that, especially in the European market, it was really hard to get American games. And so they started initially just porting stuff. And then they realized, oh, we can make a lot more money doing this. Start selling them.
The whole thing was selling games without DRM.
Well, they were legally selling games. Wasn't that the big thing with them?
Yeah, I believe that was the
because
case.
no one else bought license. They would just steal the games and then go sell them. And they were like, hey, we'll actually pay for the license or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that's how they got the.
That's how a lot of people obviously kind of use them as a way to break into the European market.
Yeah.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but GOG, a big thing with GOG is that they have no DRM, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
I don't like DRM, but I understand. why you
Yeah,
want
I
it.
get why. It's just that a lot of DRM we have nowadays is garbage.
Well, it gets cracked in 24 hours anyway.
Like, none of my games have it, but you are kind of gated by it. You have to buy it on Steam. That's really the only option. But I feel like if you're gonna pirate a game, you aren't gonna buy that game ever. I don't know of anyone that ever pirated a game and was like, okay, I'm gonna buy it now that it's on sale.
I did.
Oh, you did.
That was the only way
So-
I could play games.
No, I did.
So what did you guys pirate and then actually okay, I'll buy
I
this?
didn't pirate that, I just basically downloaded that pirate game. So
Right.
I played that, I loved that, so I said I need to reward those developers.
Okay.
Probably pirated
I
Sims
bought it on
4 and then
Steam.
ended up buying it.
It was from Black
Sims
Tail,
4.
like Recreation.
Black Tail, yeah.
With the rats
Yeah.
French.
The
That was on because
I have it, but I haven't played it yet.
Right, you like.
Yeah, I know.
The storytelling.
I had a burned CD of Baldur's Gate
Somebody-
back in the 90s, and ever since then I've bought it like 3 times.
Oh, it's David.
Yeah.
All right. Did
hello.
the competitive business idea make the cut? I remember talking about competitive market model forcing the player to change stock. So they want you to change stock and stuff like that. The other place sells grapes cheaper, so then your grapes aren't selling in the competitive market. Did that make the cut? He was wondering.
Yeah, I have a simple version of that. Whenever you're in a second level and beyond, if you go to the maps, and then you can see the other competitors' locations, which doesn't have any relevance. But however, if you go hover over or click on their map pin, it'll tell you analytics about the other customer, from how much money they have, how much debt they're in, etc. It will tell you what they like to sell and what they don't like to sell, as in they have a favorite item and a least favorite item. So the easier ways to deal with them is to sell a bunch of what they don't like to sell at a cheap price, which makes the customers want it more. And if the customers want it more and they go to the other store, they're not going to have as many or any at all. So they're going to want to go to your store more often. And then you want to hike up the price.
Pizza and drinks if you want some.
And you can also use anti-advertising as well. So you can make bananas be like, hey, everyone hates bananas, don't you know? And spend a few $1,000s on that. And then the other competitor who loves selling bananas is now having a fuck ton of bananas.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a simple version of that. Yeah. I might expand upon all of that to see how many items in particular and all that other stuff. But
Maybe you ask, what is the age of audience for this game?
age of audience? Well, I suppose young adult, I suppose.
I play my management games were when I was like 13, 14. I was obsessed with
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah. That's
How do you mention it?
Yeah.
So I guess 13 to 25.
Yeah. Well, see, now you have idle games, which you do all the same stuff you would do with management, but it's like, oh, it'll play it for you. And it's like, I don't like this, but I also, this is nice because I can just walk away and,
Yeah.
yeah.
The numbers still go up.
Yeah, this is
Sometimes it
definitely-
never ends. Number go up.
Number
It
go up.
goes up like 80, 6 500 trillion.
It goes up until there's a stack overflow.
Exactly.
Stop. It'll go very quickly.
You hit that limit of the integer. And
Yeah. What's the max value for a 64-bit again?
Something with quintillions.
Something,
yeah, it's pretty big.
You'll
But
still hit. and
For
that's reachable.
a integer?
Yeah.
I remember looking
I'm
it
gonna
up
map this.
when I had some map generation, like input a random seed of numbers, and I literally put random number 0 to max number of integer. I'm like, that'll give the most random maps, right? Or one less than the max number of integer. But that's why Gandhi was always evil and
That a myth,
civilization.
That was a myth.
Was it?
Yeah, that was a freaking myth. Like, you want it to be true, but it wasn't. Like, it didn't go back.
Mm.
Still funny though.
Yeah, it's still funny.
If it's funny, it's true.
I feel like in the YouTube and Twitch era, you can't have a game secret. Like, everything's just out there now. Like, as soon as a game comes out, it's like,
Yeah.
all right, we've played it, we've seen
Yeah,
everything.
remember all the urban legends around Minecraft?
Yeah.
I think Larian just said that there's a couple Easter eggs still hidden somewhere in PG3.
Maybe.
I'd be surprised.
I wonder if they add stuff after so that people
Oh,
can
sneak
find
it into a patch maybe?
Yeah. Be like, we're doing this.
It's just bug fixes. Put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that is one thing I was kind of wondering. Is it, since you know that the moment you have something secret in a game, the moment you publish it, like some guy in Botswana is going to take like 20 minutes to find it.
There's always a data miner.
30,000 people are going to see it. And you attended this. It's kind of like how Valve or something, they would make like ARGs, and they say this will take like at least a month to solve, and they do it in 20 minutes. Yeah, it's like, is there a way, should you try to find ways to circumvent that, or is it just not worth it?
No, just let them find it. They're gonna find it one way or another.
Well, yeah, and I guess it does
Not
just come down
worth
to the player, like, if they want to see like every secret of the game without actually playing it and studying everything, then that's on them. But for the people that actually want that, then that's the audience you want. Yeah, like I have a friend who studies like every single piece of like trees, all these different games. But he's one of those people that just reads every Wikipedia page and every theory and everything.
Yeah. Watching somebody play hours of a game, and then go, oh, I have no intention of buying this.
Exactly. So they did the same thing with Undertale too.
Nice.
Like know everything about it, but no.
Guys, I'm not a game dev,
That's fine.
but I like kind of have some game ideas and have written like game mechanic
like papers and stuff. So when I seen the event, I just thought I would come and just like see what it was like. I didn't see my guy.
So, I mean, that's still a branch of game development. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Yeah, so. So,
I'm not really a dev either.
okay.
I know, I'm on the performance side, so I do facial capture and
Oh, nice,
feedback voice.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's more like complex sort of gaming, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the most complex game that I've worked that shipped, I'm in Demon Souls from Sony and Bluepoint. And that was just all facial capture, but then I do voice, which is, I guess, less. If you can play an audio file, that's the level of complexity
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
required for most of my job. But then I can also, I'm probably the worst coder at the table, so maybe that's my offering, is I can do really bad code.
I think nested you.
Did you find
Yes.
yourself in Demon Souls though?
Yeah, well, I'm every male character in Demon Souls.
Oh,
For the face. A bunch of different stunt guys did all of the movement, and then a bunch of different voice actors did all the voices. Almost every character is like 3 to 5 dudes. That's kind of a cool collaborative process, but that's where I slotted into that one. Was I'm all of the male faces in Demon Souls, including the monsters.
One of my videos about how I want every dev and stuff like that is what taught me how to use switch statements, how to not.
Yeah.
Basically, just look at what he does and always do the opposite.
I didn't know switch statements existed until the guy was like, yeah, you should not be using this, you should be using this. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's valuable. It's just as valuable to see the wrong way to do things as it is the right.
Sure.
This is a serious new guy programmer question. Are switch statements C exclusive, or are they in C++ and C# as well?
I know they're in C#, obviously.
In fact, switch case statements are kind of in a lot of different languages.
Yeah.
I know in GDScript they're match. They're like match statements that kind of work the same way.
Okay, yeah. Neat. Your game developer or game dev studio, is that GDScript?
No, it's the scripting language used by Godot.
Oh, okay.
It's an engine you can download on Steam.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
really
familiar,
cool.
familiar with Godot. I didn't know that was the name of their language. What is it? Game Maker Studio was what I was confusing.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have their own scripting language as well, which is kind of.
Elliot is not here. He's the game maker person. Oh man, it's green. It's green Cybernish. Cool. Simple is best. I go for Lego Age Range X99.
Oh.
I love how the patch notes for Minecraft have always removed. I don't know what that word is.
Remove Herobrine
from the game.
Just we're so late getting back to him on that. Yeah.
Sorry. Also, David, man, I'm over here, but at Game Jam we discussed different types of pizza, and since then we've had every type of pizza that we discussed at Game Jam, and you haven't been here for it. So I hope that you get to come to another time that we bring pizza. Just letting you know.
Question: pineapple?
Yes.
Yes,
Pro pineapple.
that's the correct answer.
I don't feel that strongly. Like I won't fight anybody who doesn't like pineapple.
I can only do it if it's ham and pineapple.
Yeah.
But if you just did a pizza with just cheese and pineapple, I wouldn't do it.
Nah.
I feel like there's a balance there.
Yeah,
that it works.
it's Hawaiian that works with pineapple at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta balance the salty with the sweet. I can
Yeah.
see that. A friend of mine really likes pepperoni, pineapple, and jalapeno all as one, so it's sweet, spicy, and salty all at the same time. Man, it's a good pizza.
I just give me a meat though.
So good.
Dump all
I've never heard of that. I've had pepperoni and jalapeno, but never that with pineapple.
I kind of recommend it. I was a little curious myself, and I tried it.
Okay. All right.
But I'm pro pizza in general.
Yeah.
I don't think I've met a pizza that I haven't at least
Preach.
enjoyed.
Frozen pizzas, I have a hard time
Oh, yeah.
with them. Yeah. Because you cook them wrong or something always up. I take that back. There's this place in town called Papa Murphy's, and I hate it. They give you uncooked pizzas, and you
take
cook
it home and
you
bake
take
it
it home and
yourself.
bake it whenever you want or whatever.
My mom always gets Papa
I
Murphy's.
can't stand it. I want pizza done. If I
They give
order
you
pizza, I
pizzas.
want it is quick and done as possible. I don't want it to.
I guess
Like Little Caesars.
Are you
Walk
guys
in,
getting Papa
look
Murphy's
back,
people and I just ruined? Okay. The
Bridges
were burned.
rained on my
bridges were burned.
parade.
Okay, but the worst one is when you're moving, you get a bunch of pizzas because you're gonna have a bunch of movers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I went to help these one people and they bought Papa Murphy's, but the power wasn't transferred over, so we had to wait for the oven to get started. And I'm like, who buys Papa Murphy's for moving day pizza? It was just- so anyways, that's a random thing. Okay, the usual question I ask everyone, is anyone stuck on anything and need any help with anything game dev related? You're like, oh man, I'm trying to figure this out, or how do I do that?
I need to introduce myself actually,
Oh,
because I'm
okay.
new to the group. You know,
Okay.
like you.
Yeah.
You know, it was really interesting to me. I'm running the software development company called PeopleSoft. But we are not in the game dev. You know, we are in the enterprise building solutions and software. Game is my passion. You know, just something that I play myself. I have 11-year-old daughter, so I can give a perspective of that kind. I spent probably, I don't know, about $500 on the Roblox when she was smaller. I know how, you know, this tricky stuff is working, so that's what I can bring to the table. You know, I'm not a software developer myself. The closest my experience was QA, and I love lots of Java folks because, you know, they're super smart and had many projects in Java from the QA perspective. Then unfortunately, or fortunately, I got into management, so don't ask me engineering questions, but managerial I can answer now. So, wow, that's really cool. Yeah.
What was your name?
Constantine.
Constantine. Okay, yes. Daniel, I'm Daniel, by the way.
Chandler.
I'm sorry, remind me once. You can Mac for short.
Okay.
Is that an actual nickname or?
So, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Tell me how it all works. So what's the format? You bring the game, you explain how it works, they challenge you, right? I mean, and what's...
So we meet up monthly, and Chaz is on his own.
Okay.
I'm on my own. Like everyone's pretty much on their own, and this is like you get together and you talk about stuff that you're working on.
Yeah.
Now we have yearly is Global Game Jam, and that's where there's 48 hours and everyone gets together. It's real funny. You make a game in 48 hours.
Okay.
But that's not always commercially, like, you're not going to release it and stuff like that.
Warm-up wrestling.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me a little more about the Global Game Jam.
Okay, so you have 48 hours. Usually TU hosts it. And then it starts on a Friday, and then they give you a theme. And then you don't say what that theme is because it's done by each hour. And Hawaii is the last group that gets it. They're about 4 hours after us. So that's the big one, is don't tell anything until Hawaii knows what it is. That's like one of the few rules. And then usually you don't want to be using a tool that you're like, oh, I'm going to learn this, whatever. Usually you want to go in there and you're like, if you use Godot, go there and use Godot and, you know, try and help people. And the biggest point of Game Jam is to actually collaborate with other people. If you go there and you're like, I'm going to make a game, I'm going to try and get it done, that is not the point of Game Jam. It is totally about collaboration and finding other people to work with and getting on a team. And what happens is everyone, if you're like, hey man, I only can contribute this small thing, you've contributed and that's what you want. So that's how I would call Game Jam. Glenn, you've been, Adrian, you've been, anyone else? Chez been,
When does the Global Game Jam usually happen?
It usually happens in the winter. So usually January. Usually a month after New Year's.
Okay.
And then, so the idea, it started in one of the countries that gets really cold in Scandinavia. I don't know which one. And they were like, it might be. What they do is they would get together in one place and then make a game while they would get snowed in. Yeah, and then so they would do that. Yeah, I mean, I'll look it up real fast. And so,
yeah.
Laptop keeps you warm.
yeah.
It depends on your GPU.
Yeah.
Keeps my cat warm. Cats, I have 4 of them. Oh, nice.
They can code.
Yeah. Very good.
So I can't, I'm trying to find it. It was in there. It started out as the Nordic Game Jam.
Sweden, Norway.
Somewhere in there. So yeah, that's what I recommend. But
If you're talking about these meetings in Juro, this is kind of a rare event when somebody launches the game.
I noticed, yeah, I got the ad from Meetup or someone 336 North. Yeah, from my accent, you can understand I'm not from here, I'm from Ukraine. I just moved here 1 month ago.
Welcome.
So, I'm new to the city too, so,
Yeah.
just knowing people and what you guys live, and what's your passion over here in Folsom.
Just fair warning, it's gonna get hot here soon.
So,
Very hot.
yeah,
So I don't know-
I don't believe you though, but because, all
You
the
think
wind.
it's gonna?
Yeah.
You think it's gonna be hotter than last
The
year?
wind doesn't
I
help.
I
yeah.
checked the weather,
The
it's like
summer
26
was
Celsius.
very hot.
Yeah,
And no wind in summer.
There's still wind, it just doesn't help.
It's just very hot.
Yeah, it feels like
Just
a hair,
under.
like get a hair dryer and just run with a hair dryer.
I lived in the city when raining probably about 80% of the year.
Yeah.
So,
I wish.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you want rain? Here's humidity instead.
Yeah.
no, after 2 months you will be really, wanting to come back and so
Yeah.
just gray all the time.
Now there's El Nino and El Nino. El Nino and El Nino, right? Yeah, man, I'm doing them wrong. The boy and the girl. So it's like weather
Oh.
patterns and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And we're in the one where it'll get really wet,
Okay.
is my understanding right now. But when you switch over to the other one, like we had droughts, like it didn't rain for like 200 days one year.
Wow.
And
Okay.
every like ground, like everyone's yard died. I remember all of the like where cement touches the grass, like in those areas, all of that shriveled up like that far from the ground. Like it got scary here.
It's a good idea. For the
We got someone?
He's asking Chet.
Oh, I know. Work's been kicking my butt lately. Sorry, dude. What is the worst pizza chain, frozen or otherwise? I'm still saying Papa Murphy's. Anyone else? Dave wants to know what the worst pizza chain is. Mazio's has
Walmart.
gone downhill so much. Well, Mazio's like they're just
No, Walmart is probably the worst. Plano.
well,
If you're talking about quality,
Yeah, if
it's
you're talking about
besides
frozen
Papa
pizza.
Murphy's, I think Little Caesars. I've never gotten a good quality thing.
Does Chuck E. Cheese count?
Cheese
That
isn't
would-
that bad.
I would say
When's the last time you had Chuck E. Cheese?
Like 2004.
My last sister's birthday, which would be New Year's Eve.
Okay.
That's very
See, I
recent.
didn't think it was that terrible. Now for
Actually,
fresh
wait,
pizza,
2 New Year's Eves ago.
for fresh pizza, yeah, it's not the best.
I got to experience.
But I agree with you on Little Caesars, but the problem is because they, even now, even at like $6 or whatever, it's still so cheap that I'm
Yeah.
willing to eat.
And I
Like the
like,
sacrifice.
Yeah,
I like the crazy breads. They're great too.
yeah.
And the bonus is you can eat the box and you won't notice.
I know, right?
For 3 months.
I went to Caesar's for the first time. That was pretty disappointing.
Do you really expect quality from Charles Entertainment Cheese? Sometimes.
It's buffet pizza.
So,
I mean, I always appreciate when I always appreciate seeing a Daytona racing game.
right?
Yeah.
Because they have no, they just have the dual one at that one. We went there New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve for my. So we have a bunch of little kids in our family now,
Mhm.
and we didn't want to do a big event. We were like, let's just go somewhere. And we were like, why don't we just go to Chuck E. Cheese and just let them have at it with games for like 2 hours and wear them out? And that's what we ended up doing. It was one of the best Christmas Eves. And then we went back home and then chilled, and it was great.
Yeah. I always play every racing game at the arcade, every arcade I go to.
Right. Well, what I like they do now is you can buy time instead of coins. So it used to be like, oh, this one costs 50 cents or whatever. It doesn't do that. You have an hour and you can play as many games as you can, but it knows when the game's like over and not. So like we just went and went game to game to game to game, and for like an hour and a half, and like that's all we did. And it was great.
Yeah.
So
Last year we were in Krakow in Poland.
Mhm.
Now there is a museum of those old arcades, in the 80s, like this, pinball, and Mortal Kombat, all the Sega Drive and all this stuff. So you basically pay like about 2 hours, you reserve, your room.
Mhm.
And it's all museums yours. You can play all the stuff.
that's
I mean, that's really, and then she was 10 years old, so she like, wow.
yeah.
This is like analog playing, ball and stuff. So it's not like a computer anymore. So that was
Oh,
and
gotta
then
go to Krakow now.
you need to, yeah. I mean, that's a good city. Yeah.
What was the best game? What was the one you like got stuck on? And, like,
We
kept
all
going?
love this, old time pinball.
Mhm.
So like when you smash, that, and this was like Vampire type, that was like the greatest. If you beat the game, it was still more than home.
Right. Yeah. Well, because here, Adam's Family is one of the popular pinball
Okay.
ones. I would see that growing up and stuff. And so I didn't know if there was like, no, we found this one and that was the funnest board to play.
They basically buy, as I understand, from the United States, like eBay, all the old stuff. They basically renew them.
Yeah.
They remove the coin part, so you just basically play like infinitely.
Yeah.
That was interesting idea. At least it was cool to explore.
Yeah, and even occasionally
Old-timers.
in some retail outlets, you'll find these couple $100 arcade machines that you can like just play at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. And that's why I was asking you about like who is the player. Because she was obsessed with Among Us. You know this imposter game, no? So this
Among
is
Us.
Among
Oh,
Us.
yeah.
Among Us, yes.
Among Us. Yeah. I mean, I just was asking what you find there. What is the really like idea behind that? I don't know. We just have a bunch of friends like playing around. So we just for me obviously it's weird because we were playing Counter-Strike and all that kind of stuff. But for them it's just something cool. So just think about that from the emotional perspective because they are weird. I'm telling you. They just can jump on some like stupid stuff for me, but they can play like hours and days of that. It's probably not good for them, obviously, but for the game designers.
No, I get what you're saying, because I know some older people are like, Minecraft is stupid. I'm like, you can do a lot in Minecraft, but like, you have to make your own fun.
Look, my daughter in Minecraft, she creates like worlds for her. So she likes some characters. Nowadays this is Five Nights at Freddy or whatever. And she creates all the stuff. So this is about creativity.
Yeah. Even once a lot of modern Minecraft players are kind of don't get the make your own goals thing because like nowadays Minecraft didn't used to always have a final objective with the Ender Dragon. It was like
You just do whatever you want.
back up until the end of beta, it was like do whatever you want. Yeah.
Now they're trying to make it like be everything.
Yeah, they're trying to ape Roblox a little bit with like the experiences within the game.
Without getting it.
Yeah.
And the worlds are really different.
That's how I used to play Skyrim, and I still haven't beat the game yet. I make it to that one place where they give you the list of shouts on top of the thing. I'm like, okay, bye, and I just go around killing things.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of gets like kind of boring. Because then you just do the same dungeons, and you're always stronger than they are.
Yeah, the Radiant Quest system gets old after.
Yeah, because the whole problem is that everything levels with you. Like there's no dungeons that are harder.
Yeah, that's
than
what I
others.
hate. Yeah.
So it's like everything is always really easy.
I just haven't finished because I really like Parthenax. Jim Cummings' voice for Parthenax. That dude played Winnie the Pooh and the coolest evil dragon. It's amazing work. Yeah, he's probably one of my favorite voice actors of all time.
Yeah, I would say top 10.
Jim Cummings, easily.
And Frank Oz also did a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff.
Frank Oz is great too.
Dave wrote in here, David wrote, racing is peak arcade cabinet game type, but he has a soft spot for Sunset Riders. Anyone played Sunset Riders?
Oh, the cowboy. It's like a side-scrolling beat-em-up cowboy game, right?
Side-scrolling.
Sunset Riders.
I don't remember
Was
it.
it on Sega?
Ring of bell.
Yes.
It was on Sega, right?
It probably got ported
Yeah,
there.
it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
2 players.
Yeah, it is multiplayer.
Multiplayer, yeah. So yeah, I played this with my brother. Oh my gosh. We smashed these joysticks.
So we've been going down the row. You want to introduce yourself and say hello?
Hi, I'm AJ.
Hi, Adrian.
I'm a 3D artist.
Oh, well, me too.
Nice.
Good.
What
You in
row?
Discord?
Yeah, I just joined the Discord.
Oh, yeah. So you've seen us work by now.
Yeah.
All the fruit.
Yeah, you're the one who posted the fruit.
Yes, I'm obsessed with fruit right now.
That's what it knows we're at.
Okay, was that AI or did you just take pictures of food?
Yeah, so under the table, I just went around and took pictures. But on the streets, don't let them know that.
I think
I gotta protect my
So
street
real.
cred.
Yeah.
So Adrian, how did it work as an artist going into Game Jam and just like you shop yourself around and be like, hey, if you need assets, I'm your guy, or
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just like, hey, if you want me to do something, let me know.
oh,
I would
cool.
really love to do this, and yeah, it's pretty simple on my end at least.
Nice. Do you like offer people like a estimated turnaround time depending on their project? Do you do multiple projects?
I've only done it a few times. I'm actually quite busy on the side, so but yeah, I did a project with you.
yes.
And that one was really fun. We used multiple game engines for that one to make one game. That was really funny.
What?
Tell me about that.
Yeah, we used what we could to produce what we could as quickly as possible. So I used Unreal to like render things out, and then we brought it into Unity.
We did Unity. But we'd also, if like there was a cutscene, so we did all of that in Unreal, made it a video, and played the video in Unity.
How did you bash all those together at the end?
We just had fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
It was a fever dream of it, but it was fun. But yeah, and I've done some other ones online, and yeah, it's just fun. You just let people know what they need and stuff like that, and what they want, and yeah.
Nice.
But I worked a lot here in the community of Oklahoma in general, but also about trying to like build stuff and stuff like that. So been in the industry for a while here. I did do some remote work outside of Oklahoma for a while too, but passions here, want to build in this industry. So there's some cool stuff being developed that I can't talk about, but hopefully this will start kicking off and we'll see more developers and artists coming into Oklahoma.
Are you allowed to say where you work?
I don't know, so I probably
okay.
don't want to.
Okay, you're fine.
But yes, there's cool stuff.
Really cool. How do we get a mocap volume built?
We have one.
We do.
Yes, I work
Where?
there, and we do stuff.
There's a volume in Tulsa.
Yes.
Well, there's a volume near Tulsa.
Yeah.
I don't
Close
know.
enough.
I don't know. if
Tulsa
it's-
County.
Yeah, I don't know if it's public, so I
won't.
say.
That's
won't
not
pry.
public, but
It's-
you can say where you work. Like,
Well,
I mean, well, I mean, not like rude, but like. Anyways.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Just chase it.
Yeah.
But yes,
I'm happy to hear that because I always have to fly to LA or Austin if I do VCAP.
Yeah.
So glad to hear there's one in the vicinity.
yes, and I will remember your name, and I will let my people know.
We guys should talk privately after.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've
No,
done a lot of like previs as well, so I'm familiar with the. So yeah, let's collaborate.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But yes, so I primarily work in Unreal, but I can do other stuff. I am I use multiple programs, so if anybody ever wants to jump into the art side of things and wants to learn, please message me on Discord. I am very open to it. I enjoy helping out. It is a lot of fun, and I'm not amazing, but at least I am competent enough to help. So, and if I'm not, I'll find somebody who does.
Yeah, I've seen the fruit.
Yeah. The fruit speaks for us all.
And obviously everything before that, but
Yeah, that's my thing. I do have a side passion, which is pixel art and stuff like that. I don't officially do it, but I have a game.
Well, you've officially released a game in
Yes,
pixel art.
yes, I'm part of a team that has made a game and we launched called Emmy Saves the Galaxy. So it's on Steam.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, we so if my 3D stuff throws you off and you're like, but I love pixel art, please hit me up too, because I got plenty of things to talk about. It'd be really cool. I will do a small little plugin for. I have a project that's free and available for Tulsa game developers. It's not in a good state right now, but there is a Unreal project on GitHub that is just trying to teach how to do a bunch of different art styles and basics into blueprinting, which is Unreal's visual coding. And so that's there. It's in the Discord. I'll probably post it again at some point. It's not in a wonderful state. I haven't touched it in months, but it's one of those things where I'm hoping other people would love to contribute and have fun, and we can all help each other out by just sharing the information we learn and grow. So,
Okay, that's awesome.
She posted tonight, please.
I can post
By the way, it's fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, how does a fellow join this electric Discord?
Are you on the meetup page by any chance?
I think I am.
If you go to meetup, I usually put the link right on the
Okay.
page.
Let me dive in there.
And then if you, definitely before you leave, make sure you're signed in.
So I'm going to do it now.
Yeah, do that. Chandler, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk? Do you talk about your game dev life?
Oh yeah, I started developing games on and off in about 2017, right at the tail end of high school, and yeah, then for 4 years, from 2018 to 2022, I went to college at TU. I double majored in computer science and game development. Yeah, and ever since then, I've been using my free time to just explore game development at a relatively slow pace, but still, progress is progress.
How was that at TU? Did you feel like you learned everything you needed to learn about game development there?
I guess so. I really more enjoy TU for just how wonderful a place it is to be. Like the campus is just a nice place to live on. But not to slight on my actual education too, because the teachers there were all awesome as well. Mrs. Burris, who ran the Akram Burris, who ran the CSGC Expo for a while, she was wonderful. I really liked this one physics teacher I had, Professor McCoy. He would always give us printouts that give us a summary of the stuff we were learning in our physics class, along with exercises. And the way he would print out the notes, it said on the back side of the paper was the actual printout, and what you would think is what you would usually use for the front side is what you write down. That was nice. As for my current endeavors, I'm using my free time right now to make a survival horror hunting game, Wendigo Hunt, where the idea is, well, you hunt down and kill a Wendigo.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how does that play out? So is it also hunting you? I mean, this seems like quite a dangerous quarry.
It's also hunting you. The idea is that you survive in the forest, sustain yourself, hunger, stamina, and body temperature. I'm looking into how to implement a winter season after a few days in the forest. It's a day-night cycle. Yeah, and the tools available to you, or so you have knives, a hunting rifle among other firearms, a pistol, a shotgun, and as well bear traps, and trail cams as well.
Interesting. So you can set up the whole space as though you were big game hunting, but then you also have this adversarial.
Yeah. And the main thing, and the big thing I want to do for the Wendigo is make it an intelligent enemy, the kind of intelligent that everyone says the xenomorph and Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm currently looking into making my own behavior tree system as a learning experience for that. And the kind of stuff I want to do with that is okay, early on it got a bit of a playful behavior. It'll stalk you from a distance. Hunt down other animals for sustenance if it's low on health. And then, depending on whether you're aware of it or not, it'll sneak up on you or rush you down. Then this one fun behavior. I wanted to like throw rocks onto your bear traps so that you would then come investigate the sound and it would ambush you.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah.
No, I'm not looking to, sorry, one second. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I don't mean to throw your thing in a loop, but it could be good for advertising if you don't have the Wendigo present as a Wendigo in a title, but you just have like a hunting game, but something's on. And like even the trailers don't portray the Wendigo, they just portray something's weird. And then like maybe near the end of a trailer you portray that, hey, there's a creature out here, and then the players discover the Wendigo throughout the adventure.
What was that hunting game? It was like Squirrel something?
Squirrel Stapler.
Squirrel Stapler.
Yeah.
That was
I'm also kind of looking
exactly like that, just really surreal. Where it starts out just this weird, like, generic hunting game, then it gets into this, like, God is here and we God for you.
Same guy
Bizarre.
who, made by the same guy who made Dusk, by the way. Any of you familiar with that?
Really?
And Iron Lung.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, now I understand.
Yeah. I'm not looking for a sort of surprise thing like that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I didn't know Dusk and Iron Lung were the same band. That's
Yeah.
kinda cool. I can see the art style now in my head.
Yeah.
That's neat.
I'm sorry, you had a question?
Are you doing the same like narrator system that they did in Alien Isolation?
You mean director?
Yeah, director and narrator. It's like an
Very
overarching-
likely for pacing. Yeah. Probably a little scaled back compared to Alien Isolation because Wendigo Hunt is more of a long-term play where it's not so much different set pieces throughout the game. It's like you're placed in this one world, this one big open map, and you have this monster also looking for you. Nothing is scripted. It's all emergent.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
I've tried to do the
I played that.
monster AI thing. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to wish what you name.
What are you doing on that?
Shared with my friends, maybe they'll buy it. He just bought it, I saw it.
Nope. Okay.
Yeah. Management.
Yeah, I bought Urban Entrepreneur a couple months ago.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
Yeah, I bought the game a couple minutes ago, actually.
Oh, thanks.
Nice.
We're gonna try to get 10 reviews in 7 days, right?
Quicker,
Does it
better.
have-
Quicker, better.
Does it have controller support?
It's not, no. I don't know the best way to implement that with like a grid-based top-down as of yet. So I might add that if it makes a fuck ton of money, but it's not on the board per se.
When
Yep.
you,
I mean-
you made something.
Okay.
And I think you should actually be proud of it. I thought it was
It
really
took
good.
2 hours.
But it was really fun. Do you want to show? Do you have to show it off?
I made Palm.
Just show it off. Just show it off if you got
Okay,
it.
go ahead and save it.
What is this on?
I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
some
it
guy
looks like the famous game Pong. I'm gonna be very, I'm gonna hit him up.
Well, and copyright infringement.
I don't really know if there's a good way to demonstrate this, but it's Palm. It's Zingado, and it's
Look it up, Chad.
Hold on. Okay, good. Hold on 1 second. I see that.
It's Pong, but with gravity.
Okay, hold on, give me a minute. I need to. I'm gonna rebuild this. Because I did on my big
The,
monitor.
the
Live
build- the build
debugging.
that I played, it was really fun. So.
No, someone else
you
was
know.
yelling at me too when I was sharing it because he also maximized it so where he could go out of town.
So it's not pronounced got it, like Ace Attorney.
Hey,
got
they
it.
pronounce
It's
it however they want.
you can do Godot,
Godot.
Godot.
I like Godot because it makes people really upset.
Yeah.
All I know those were approved. So I went to GDC years ago, and the guy was actually giving a talk, and then he was like, "You call it Godot or Godot, it doesn't matter. They're interchangeable."
Okay.
So since then, it's interchangeable as far as I'm concerned, because the creator said it himself. So yeah, but you want to skip one? You're doing 3D. What was your name? I'm
Jody.
Jody. Okay. Are you in the Discord?
Yeah, I joined
Did
the,
you
like-
join last week or something?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was like, That name, that sounds familiar.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm a 3D character artist. I started in 2017, kind of the same as the others. I was one of the original artists who worked on VR Chat, making like the avatars and stuff. And one of my more popular models was Danza Knuckles. Yeah.
You're the guy.
Yeah,
that was you?
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah.
They don't have a bigger screen.
Yeah, I'll download it.
Because I said the 4x3 is 1280 by 1024. This is only 768.
Okay, we got.
You haven't saved
That's
that.
a mark in history. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my one mark on the internet.
Glenn,
That's a pretty big
just
mark.
come over here. You're dying here.
Okay.
All right, David said, Adrian, I won't show mercy in Tulsa Game Dev's logo art contest. Just so you know.
And who's coming?
Dang, coming
That's
for
much
you.
better.
All right.
Chandler.
David said, Wendy gone hunting.
Yeah.
That's
Wendy's.
Wendy gone hunting is your name for your game. Where did you put it up?
It is in the welcome.
Welcome.
Like 3 seconds after I just Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It also says there's like 30 downloads, which is a lie because I put it on my website, but because like I posted the link on my website and immediately it had like 30 downloads.
Some bots or something.
What was it?
Web crawlers.
The other one was Ganon Knuckles. It's like Sonic Knuckles,
Okay.
but he's like roadkill kind of version,
They have Oculus too, so.
kind of internet. Yeah.
It is virus, I lied.
All right.
All right. Do you know how to play? Like, you broke it.
Is there a full screen?
I don't know how to play, I guess.
What? Did you go?
The paddle is missing.
I know the paddles are missing. Hold on. What did you do?
What did I do? You made it.
You broke my game!
Here, I'll let you jump in.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Does it do that on mine? Hold on. All right, let's move the window.
So what's if someone is going to start working in 3D, what's the advice you got to give us? You're like, just do this now.
It's just like drawing on a piece of paper. You got to do it to get good at it. You can't just procrastinate. You have to actually practice it to get good at it.
What's the resolution on your screen?
1920.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that makes 0 sense.
Yeah. Stacked on top of each other. I only.
It worked on my big TV. My big screen.
It hit something.
It's hitting
invisible.
something.
Okay, so the
Yeah, 'cause
paddles are
it's-
supposed to be on the top and bottom.
Hold on. Let me just.
That's why it's going vertical. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Be sure is that full resolution? Because it looks like it is. It should be.
Does Godot have like a node for HUD scaling? I think it does.
It does. I just didn't put it in because I'm lazy.
That's probably why.
And it doesn't want to. Okay, so I have work to do then. Great.
All right. Mac, while he's doing that, do you want to talk about your game dev journey? It seems like it's how long have you decided? When did you decide I'm going to be a game developer? It seems to be soon, but
Both the same
Yeah,
size, window size. So.
Yeah, because it's always.
I just, a few years ago, I had just an idea of like a balloon. Mine is more like mobile game stuff, Android, iOS. So it was just like, I just had this balloon popping idea. And I looked it up and there wasn't really anything that was like that, to my surprise. And there still isn't. So yeah, I honestly, I'm not a programmer. I'm not a coder or anything. It'd be cool if I was looking to doing that. But it was more so just like trying to understand. I was like, okay, I can envision what this is supposed to be, but I don't know how to get there. I don't even know what the mechanics are supposed to be. So I had to like reverse engineer what I was somewhat envisioning.
You have like a rough concept in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I basically had to look at other games. It's meant to be like a casual, like a hyper casual game, honestly.
And so I looked at other games to kind of find fundamental principles of like what makes a hyper casual game work, what makes it successful, why is it fun, why do you want to keep playing, you know? And then I just kind of worked that into it, and then that's when I was able to formulate the idea. But that's for this particular game. I mean, I have a couple of other sort of ideas. Like I said, it would really be beneficial if I actually knew how to code. Because other than that, I just have to work with like other people, you know, that know what they're doing. But
are you gonna hire a programmer, or are you gonna learn coding? So there's pretty much the two roads.
Right. I'm going to hire somebody. Like I've actually been on Upwork and stuff, you know. I did look into trying to learn. I've been using like ChatGPT and some other stuff to kind of maybe see, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to get my hands dirty just yet. I don't know if I want to dive in. You know, for what I envision, I'm like, maybe it's best if I just work with someone that I can give this sort of design thing to, have them make it, and then see what happens, you know. So, and like I said, I have some other little ideas, but you know, it's just, I don't know. It's just a matter of just what does it take to do it? Is it plausible? You know.
So, if I was in your shoes and you already use Upwork and you have cash, what I would do is pick one very small game idea, tic-tac-toe, something like that, and then hire out 3 or 4 different programmers that might be it. You give them all the exact same game design document, the same deadline, same everything. They have 60 days to do it, 30 days to do it, whatever. And then what you do is you may waste like $1,000, you know, but then you find out, okay, who delivers on time? Who's going to be, you know, giving me headaches on, oh, do you mean this or that, you know? Who actually can do what they say they're going to do, you know, and then if you have the guy that gets it done, that's really easy to talk to, and he gets it done in, you know, 3 hours, and you're like, oh, that's, you know, that way you can easily find the person that you're going to find on. So if you're going down that road, I recommend identical stuff, but then figure out how you're going to judge them, and then go that way.
It helps you to be more efficient, you know.
Because then you already finished something, so when it comes time, you're like, okay, this is the big project. This is what I got going.
Exactly. I do have a question that I want to present to all of you guys. Have you ever? I'm on Twitter like every day. Or X. Have you ever? Have you ever seen one of those games advertised like? Like there's like a zombie game and like there's a bunch of creatures running and they're like shooting. And then like for the first few seconds it captures your attention and then maybe it changes a little bit. But the game is not anything like that. So my question is, I'm looking through the comments and everybody's like, I would play that game, I would pay for that game. So why doesn't that game exist?
It does. It's the
like the way they advertise.
State of survival.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So that actually does look like it, because the reason they just added the Ninja Turtles. So they, in their ads now, they have the Ninja Turtles trying to do the exact same stuff, and it has to look like that to match up to it. So they have, that's the closest, but other ones, I know what you're talking about. Like it doesn't.
Because
usually the ones that are like, here's a knight, and then you got to hold the little things. What they do is those are mini games that are inside the main game, not actually the game. So, but you're wanting to make one of those.
Well, maybe down the road. I'm like, if because it does look fun, it looks compelling. But like if a game like this doesn't actually exist, I'm just curious, is it not technically feasible or like on a little handheld game?
It is.
It's only feasible, but you can't push microtransactions as well if you have a very easy to understand and fun to play game.
And I'll add on to that, the games that do exist, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, they're flooded with ads. You play one level, it takes you about 2 minutes to either die or win this level, and you have to watch a 30-second ad before you play the next level or play that level over again, because it's incredibly hard. You have to keep leveling up to even survive, like after 5 zombies or something.
At that point, I'm just uninstalled.
That's
I tried it once.
No, airplane need 3 levels. That's it.
And that's all the time I'm going to.
So if it's big enough, I can pull around it.
Okay. All right, so Glenn has been working on his game
For 2 hours.
2.5.
And that, yeah, that was our.
Yes. Can blow your mind.
I can't wait. This is gonna be groundbreaking.
It's gonna be huge. Gonna make Todd Howard cry. Wishes he could make this.
We'll just release another version so I can see the paddles.
See, I could see it on the other screen.
Oh, hey.
Is there actually like an amount to win?
No.
Does it go? Yeah, I was gonna say I got to 10 and I was
Eventually you die. Like you die.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a couple decades it'll happen.
The time it's your own.
That was a drastic increase in speed.
Yeah, kind of a big
He was
jump
right,
in
he was
speed,
right,
buddy.
like, you
Like,
died
I
now.
guess you could call that the other paddle AI instead of just one line, like move towards the ball.
I like how smoothly it moves.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a set velocity increase with every?
Yeah, every time it hits, I think it's like a multiplier of like 0.1. And then every time it increases, that multiplier goes up by 0.1. So 0.1, then 0.2, then 0.4, and 0.8. So yeah, it goes fast.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
And like the other thing that in the original Pong, the ball would move in a different direction based on where you hit it on the paddle. So if you hit it on like the edges, it would go all the way that way. But I didn't do that because this was really just a proof of concept to see what I could do. It was not hard to get that font in there. You have no idea. Like just to add a font to Godot, but you get
Was it really hard or no?
more difficult than it should have been.
Right. Did the opponent speed capped?
Yes, there is a max speed to it. I was considering adding different difficulties and it would just make it go faster and move towards it. But then after a while, it would just be impossible.
Are there difficulty levels on the like the competitor, the computer?
No, this is as best. Like you can see if it's on one firing, it'll kind of like go at like a set speed towards it. But no, basically, it's always just trying to set its X location the same X location as the ball.
What would happen if the ball hits one of the edges of the paddle, like the left or right edge?
It bounces. It'll bounce off, and then behind it.
How did you calculate the bounce vector?
It's actually I copy pasted from the Godot wiki.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really nice because you think it's going to be super hard, but really, it's basically all just a matter of putting what variables or what functions Godot has natively into it, and figuring out where to put all those in a statement.
And so your movement is just like x equals mouse x?
Yep, exactly.
Mhm.
I'm also working on a snake game, which is more difficult than it should be. Because I learned that in traditional snake, it's basically all grid-based, but I'm doing it without the grid, where it's all just freeform.
Okay.
Yeah, things very
It's not
difficult.
keeping up.
The college I went to, they had a game design program. So at random, there'd be people with laptops being like, "Hey, can you try this?" And I remember my friend he was also in the game program. I was in a different one. He remade Frogger, and I was like, "Okay, let's do this." And I hit something, and I guess he had the sound multiplier, or the sound is basically being multiplied by how many of the things you got. So his computer speakers just and freaked out, and I was like, "Okay, that's a bug." But
Or
yeah,
Crossy Road is just infinite Frogger.
yeah.
Realistic
I
problem.
don't know, I don't know why I didn't already realize that.
There's a Frogger body.
For the first 3D Frogger they made, there was this huge modding community for it. They made their own level editor.
Puts the Pog and Pong.
Frogger, like fish called He's Back.
He's back.
Yeah, we're playing him. He's
Robin, tell us about your game dev journey.
I'm not a programmer or a coder. I'm kind of trying my hand at like 2D art, pixel art. I haven't really did much. I kind of just started in October and life's busy.
You've released a game.
Oh, okay. I did some of the art.
Yeah, that's count as working on a game.
That's the thing.
It was just some Dino from the game jam last year.
It's on.
It's free on Itch.
Yeah, it's
It's
free.
the game we made during the game jam in 48 hours.
So technically, you're a game developer with a released game. Because I know people that
they were artists. They would get a job at a company, work there for a year, and then the company would go under. Then they'd work at another company, and then they were actually got to the point that they had worked 4 years in the game company, and every one of the companies went under, so they never technically released a game. So technically, you're ahead of all of them.
Yeah, that was my first two voice jobs for games.
Yeah.
I would do it. I was like, yes, I'm in a video game, and then it never shipped, and I can't put it on my resume. Okay, great.
Well, you can put on there as an unreleased game.
I was
you
leading
did
an
the work.
unreleased.
Yeah.
You did the work. You can
Yeah.
still put it on there.
I've had mixed success with casting on that. Sometimes they'll say, hey, don't put it until the credits roll. Is essentially the going wisdom that I've been told anyway. I don't know if that's
I don't
for
think
everybody.
that doesn't apply to movies because like you finish a movie and then it gets shelved for 6 years. Well, like think of all the people that worked on like Batgirl or the second Scoob movie or whatever.
Sure.
Like they finished their work.
Yeah, absolutely. It was
So-
actually in my contract with Sony not to.
Then you can't put that. That's different.
Just under NDA.
Man,
Yeah.
don't even get me started on the Acme movie. What was
I
it
know.
called?
I can't. I wish that was coming out.
Oh, Coyote vs. Acme?
Yeah.
Coyote.
It's
versus
like a
Acme.
lawyer drama with Coyote guy.
Wile E. Coyote.
Wile E. Coyote's like the defendant, and then John Cena's the other lawyer. Like everything about it sounded like this. I really want to see this.
That sounds familiar.
No, there's
Why
just a few
did they
screenshots.
shelve that?
They shelved it for tax reasons. But
Of course.
I feel like if you do that, the tax people, the government has to watch you light everything on that movie on fire. All the props, everything. If you're going to claim that, all of the images need to be scrubbed from the internet. Like, no, you can't do it.
You have to make John Cena disappear.
Yeah.
That's the whole deal.
What were you a voice actor in?
I'm in an indie game called Between the Stars, another indie game called Pumpkin Days, very cute farming sim.
Pumpkin Days?
Pumpkin Days.
I've watched I've watched the dev of the dev at the streamer on Twitch. I watch her.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, I was in that in 2020, I think it was when we recorded. And then, let's see, there's another one called Aaron's Adventure, which was one of the Epic Grant winners. That was with a company called Timer Games. I think they're in Sweden. I don't remember. Then Demon Souls was, I think, my largest release so far. Then I did Previs as well, but that wasn't really that is NDA to all get out.
Yeah. Is it Wolverine? I'm just
No.
Because I feel that's like the big, like if you're a motion cap artist, that was like the project of like everyone's trying to get that and GTA 6 would be the two.
Yeah,
that everyone's trying to get on.
I don't, even in the PCAP community, I don't know anyone who is in any of the GTAs. Although I know a couple people that did Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
Like that's the close. I'm 1 degree separated from that end of Rockstar. But
Right.
I don't think GTA 6 will know any of the actors until the credits roll. Because it was very similar with Sony. The casting director who was working with me just said explicitly, like, until the credits roll and you see your name in it,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter that you've been paid, doesn't matter you clearly did the work.
Yeah.
You have to wait until we, the major company, have told the world that you are in this.
Yeah.
Technically can say anyway, did a bunch of work that was not released.
Right, so I can say, oh yes,
Yeah.
of course, I worked here, and you'll never see it.
Yeah.
But like the NDA, I can't mention what company it was because it's
Yeah.
all pre-visualization for a project that they're looking way down the road, but they just wanted to see people in the suit doing
Right.
the moves so they can market it to their producers. And I know they're moving forward. I'm not in the final project, and it wasn't like, oh, it's just like they've now. I've been
Yeah.
replaced by someone way more expensive.
Yeah. That sucks. Yeah.
No, I can tell you, from our world, the enterprises, we may have many producers under AD.
Yeah.
But many developers who work there like for, a year or two or more, obviously, they need to put this in the resume anyway. So yeah, we just call it like under NDA, financial system and platform. Who knows? Tons of them.
Sure, of course.
So
I guess I'll play it a case by case. Like if I do recording and then 6
no,
months
if
down the
your
road.
contract strictly saying like you cannot mention this, even like buying all the details. That's one thing, but it doesn't tell them. Like, telling you.
Why don't you just put NDA is the company. I work for NDA, and then just do some different things that you actually did, because then it's not. Then you're mixing and matching. No one can know anything.
There's a company that looks like Oni, but you just take it.
Yes. Yeah.
But where does that stop, right? You can just go down the list NDA.
Yeah, from
No,
Doni.
no. You only have one NDA list. You only have one that says NDA, but then you have different things that you did, like skills that you required on there.
I think at this point, fortunately, in my career and with my demo reel and everything, I can just put the work I've done.
Right.
And if I haven't shipped something, it doesn't. There's not a hole there.
Yeah. I mean, do you have an agent?
No, self-rep.
Okay. Why are you in Tulsa? I don't mean that in a mean way.
Are you here for Tulsa Remote or?
No. I grew up in Tulsa, and then I went to drama school in New York. I lived there for a while. I did a lot of theater, regional theater. I lived in LA very briefly, and the theater scene there is kind of dead. And that was when I got into voice work. So I moved back to Tulsa. This was back in 2012. My dad passed at that time, so I came back here, and I was like, all right, let me just hang out in Tulsa for a little while, get back on my feet.
Yeah.
And then it turned out I started meeting voice actor people who all were Dallas-based.
Yeah.
And
because like Funimation's
yes,
down there.
Funimation's
yeah.
there, and now Crunchyroll Studio Sentai is in Houston.
Mhm.
So like Texas is a major hub for voice.
Yeah.
But I was mainly doing theater up until around 2018, and then I just kind of got a wild bug and said, no, I really want to get into games. So I started putting up, responding to casting calls for games. That was when Sony picked me up. I did the recording for Demon's Souls in 2019. Then once the pandemic hit, it actually helped me voice-wise, because I was able to take a little bit and I could build my booth out, and remote work was starting to be a little more widely accepted, because broadly for voice, you had to still be in LA or somewhere in Dallas. Right, you had to be in the studio. And now that remote voice work is a little bit more normalized, being in Tulsa has been an affordable option for me. But now prices in Tulsa is coming up a little bit. I've had to fly out to LA a lot, and so I'll probably end up there in the not distant future. But as long as I can, I don't mind staying here because it's affordable. My friends are here. I like the city. And if I don't absolutely have to go, then I won't. And now that I hear there might be a mocap while you're here, that's incentive for me to like stick around. But also, once I heard about this group, I wanted to come meet you guys because I would love to work with you. And also, I want to know more about the developer side of things, because all I ever see is a script.
You thought like work pro bono, just to extend your voice.
Yeah, I did that.
Library.
I did that when I first started out. But
even today, just from memory, how much of your day is spent with work?
oh, not too terribly much. I mean, I have a day job. So I work as a stagehand. I teach, arts education as well.
Where are you a stagehand at?
I've worked at the BOK, the
Same.
PAC. Oh, nice. No kidding. With IATSE.
Yes, but it was like right up until the pandemic.
That was also most of my work.
Yeah.
But since then, I haven't heard of people.
Yeah, neither. They also know a bunch of the guys there quit, and then like everything switched over, and they got all new guys.
Oh, good.
So, yeah.
How nice to get a foot back in the door.
There's a possible. Well, they had like hundreds of people in there. It felt like so. Like, there's a possibility we even work together.
That's very possible.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, I love. The reason I was a stagehand for so long, I just love making the show go.
Right.
And that's why I am getting into programming and everything like that, because for me, video games are the next great artistic medium.
Yeah.
Just full stop. And so it's not about the money. It's not about getting my name out there. That's why I like doing performance capture and voice, because you can play Demon's Souls, and I'm all of those dudes, but it doesn't matter because they all look so different. The characterization is different, and I'm so happy to have made that piece of art.
I will tell you the journey of one voice translation. So in the Russian, he's from Moscow, so he became popular by actual voice of the game characters. Before Assassin's Creed was Prince of Persia, and then he actually moved into movies.
Oh, nice.
So he started with the video games, and it was like 2005, 4, so that's the past.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, pro bono.
What's his name again?
Oh, I will try to remember. His nickname is Glance. Glance, yeah. So maybe I don't know whether he's famous here or no, but you know, he basically, you know, I hear him like all the games now in movies. He is the voice of the Deadpool in Russian translation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that means, because usually translations like that, like if you do Ryan Reynolds' first movie as the translator,
Yeah.
and they become famous,
They
you were
become-
always
yeah, you always
that
Ryan
person.
Reynolds,
Yeah. So he lucked out, man.
No, I'm telling you, this is a big deal. And the matter of the translation, you know, in the world of Ukrainian, you know, and Russian, is that they can enrich the game, you know, so they can really, so take a Witcher, you know, Witcher in the original character doesn't have all the jokes.
Yeah.
You know, in Polish original, there are many, many jokes that are not translatable to the English. You know, and the same, you know, when we have the subtitles in Russian, even more like the hard words, you know, it's even more funny in some ways.
Oh, nice.
So,
Roman Varshavsky.
I will find it.
What languages do you speak?
I speak Ukrainian, Russian, English, technically, yeah. So I understand Polish, but I cannot speak like, you know, as actively. So Polish, it's similar, but it's different. So we kind of understand 80%.
Cool. Have you ever played Stalker?
Yeah.
I started, so I never finished.
That's a famous Ukrainian
Stalker,
game.
it's famous.
Yeah, it's their.
Now this is a release of.
Now they're coming out their fourth one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. They say by the end of the year.
It's always tricky for them. I mean, they really hard to release things.
Well, you see, I don't speak Russian or Ukrainian.
Oh, you guys
but my
said-
game has been Google translated for that.
Yeah, I
so
wanted to ask
if at some point in time I'd be able to give you have a glance on it to see if it's gibberish or not.
Yeah.
I was looking at
You need to
reviews.
show it to me.
Yeah, I was looking at reviews for your other games, and someone was complaining about the translation being bad.
Oh, I haven't even
You
looked.
what? On one of yours?
On one of his.
Google Translate is
maybe.
better nowadays.
Yeah.
However, sometimes it's just ridiculous. So he is Peter Glance or Peter Ilashenko.
Peter who?
Ilashenko.
So I will. It's all Russian. In English, I'm trying to find it.
The first game made around $700 something. Now, I bet this game will make over 1,000. I don't know how much more. We'll have to see. But I'm betting on 1,000.
I only can find the American. If I try.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I feel like I have to redo.
So this
my
is
previous
Russian
games.
nowadays.
Like, there's so many
It
things
doesn't-
I
it doesn't
update.
go, right?
And I could make those previous games, it took me like a year, I'd probably make them in 4 months
Yeah.
now. Like,
Yeah.
Peter, what's the last name again?
His nickname Glance.
Ilashenko. Ilashenko. Ilashenko.
Eva.
So I'm a movie buff person from Ukraine. What's the best Ukrainian movie?
Ukrainian. Oh, that's tricky. We have lots of war movies now. So
Okay.
they're good. Cyborgs, good.
Cyborgs.
Yeah. So this is not about the cyborgs robots. It's about people
Yeah.
who became cyborgs, so protecting the next airport for almost a year. And they were just, you know, literally protecting this by their hands and everything they had, like AK-47.
The Heroes Never Die. Is that?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah. It's really good. I mean, and realistic.
It looks like you got on the front of it.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah.
Well, to you it's a movie, but to me you consider foreign
Careful.
cinema. You know, because it's
Yeah.
from there, so I didn't know if there was.
It wasn't cinemas.
Yeah. No, I meant like, is there any other, like, what's a classic? So a classic Ukrainian movie,
classic.
like you got to watch this one.
It's very, very.
Like here we have The Godfather. It was like, oh, The Godfather's the greatest movie of all time. So I didn't know if you had some.
It's probably like Fire and Sword. This is like a Polish Ukrainian 3D series. This is about the war in the 17th century.
Yeah.
Is that the guy?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So you see, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I was asking that, maybe just, dedicate some time for some pro bono
This one?
voices.
Yeah.
So people
Is it this
will
one?
just capture that.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, man.
my pricing is absolutely like job based. So like if somebody has a really, really great project and
I will tell you, from the standpoint of driving the company, okay? Last year, I added to the company the R&D, research and development, which is for engineers, a space where they can be creative. So we are software development, but they started 3D printing. And in 3 months, they printed the bionic prosthetic hand from scratch because it was their passion. So now, this is not just the company portfolio, that we have, but this is actually their experience. So the same you can do, so don't waste the same, thinking that, project will come. We also can do that. Again, obviously, project comes on AI, we do AI. Project comes on Java, we do Java, right? Sure. But, it has to be proactive.
Oh, yeah.
So prospect clients, would know that we can do that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've got so the way marketing works from the former end.
Aaron Campbell said congrats.
We've got demo material that we send out frequently. Almost everyone who's serious in the business is a part of these casting boards. So game devs or any developer or even large companies will basically just post their job to all and sundry and say, we need someone who can portray XYZ character. Please submit, or here's what we're going to pay. And so then it's on us, either us or our agents or a casting director who knows of us to tell that company, I know just the person. And sometimes that person is just me. And so I'll say, all right, great. And I'll submit my demo material. And they'll listen to it, and they may have me come back and read the brief, as an audition or a callback, and then I'll either get the job or I won't.
Sounds complicated.
It is. So in a way,
A lot of rejection.
Part of the process is that the rejection and the auditioning, and you're just constantly asking around and finding out who's making what project, and you say, hey, here's samples of my work. If you like it and you think that I would be a good fit with your project, let's talk. And sometimes they'll offer a rate. Sometimes they'll ask me for a rate sheet. I have built in like default rates, but also more than once I've worked with people. Like I'll say, hey, here's my default rate. And they're good. Look, we're a 2-man studio. We can't afford our own coffee. And I'll say, look, your project looks really good. I'll do it for like just a flat booth fee.
Are you SAG though or no?
I have opted not to go union right now because so many games are non-union.
Yeah.
However, there is a big benefit to unioning up if you're booking back-to-back union jobs. So if that time comes, then yes. And then once I'm in the union, I can't do any non-union games. So like the indie projects would basically be dead for me.
Oh no, they just got to pay the rate.
If they can pay the rate, then sure, why not?
Because you can do it. I mean, you can do it for scale technically.
Yes, you can work that out, and if they're willing to pay for the time, then yeah, sure. Right now, I'm a little bit in a position where my passion is balanced by the workload, and so I really believe in indie games made by a person in a garage, and they really need a voice actor. And I happen to be able to offer them a voice actor who's been, like classically trained and has worked a lot and do the thing. And so I think I could be a big asset to the performance side of a game. And I've also got a pretty strong network. So if I can't be your guy, I can find you the person.
Does this voice sound like what you envisioned when you were Indigo?
Well, really not really.
Play voices.
Do you have a portfolio?
Yeah, I definitely do. Here, I'll
Throw that in the.
I'll give you. I'll put my website in the Discord.
Yeah, well, we have.
Tell me about Discord. So, it's like a very popular thing nowadays. But it's not just for chat, it's
Sure.
for AI, it's for.
Take a look.
You gotta have.
No, I know this.
No, but this is ours. This is Tulsa Game Dev.
I joined yesterday.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Yeah, so basically, like example, we run an Unreal Engine group.
For me, it's like Slack on steroids.
It is. Yeah, it's Slack on
Yeah,
steroids.
it's
So-
geared towards gamers and people who play games.
So,
Now that's explained.
So, like example, I made this room. It's called Unreal. We do Unreal. So if you have a question about Unreal, you just go here and you ask it. But if we're doing like the meetup, then we'll join in the Unreal voice and then we'll all chat together. But then anyone can just back out. But it's not, oh, I'm in charge. Anyone can share their screen. You just have to go to that screen. And so that's where it changes. Like so, like Adrian could be sharing his screen, I could be sharing mine, and you can choose which one you want to watch. Like that sort of thing. So you're not like, it's not like a main person. And then we have like memes where we put jokes about game dev, like what's the most used word in programming, profanity. You know?
Yeah, that's AI.
Yeah. So, because like Justin just showed up. That's
I'm on
his
Discord
website.
for half a year, but I'm still getting there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's cool stuff for sure. I just generated pictures there.
Yeah.
For the work.
Yeah. Oh, were you doing the Midjourney stuff? Yeah.
Midjourney.
But see, like they built their Discord out that way. But,
Does it help you anymore? Yeah. ChatGPT?
Just the format.
Yeah. 'Cause-
so are you gonna try and make a game, or are you? What do you think?
Can you use ChatGPT?
Yeah, to
First of all,
help out with
I'm
writing.
thinking of establishing.
I don't
a
use it
company
entirely
office.
as a substitute for writing.
We still
Yeah,
in this
it's
enterprise
good.
spaces, we still
It's
in the
good to augment certain
non-gaming
aspects.
space.
Mhm.
To get inspiration,
Being
right?
really
Yeah,
interested in
take this
gaming, I will see
to make
what
this
can be done
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Because we do have resources, but
Sure.
nowadays,
I'm really
the
eager to
strategy
use
for the
it as a
company is
supplement
be
and
as
not as a
much on
replacement.
technology
Yeah.
and also in not.
Yeah, we still
creative
need that
space
human
as of
element
today.
nowadays.
Mhm.
We may, do the spin-off.
Actually,
of the company,
a colleague of
seeing
mine recently said with,
opportunistically, we
with
can
generative
invest some.
AI
Mhm.
for
Where are you
performances,
located at now? Then?
A
My
human actor is
engineers
going to
are
be
in
premium
Poland,
option.
Romania, and Ukraine.
So like, if you need that little something.
Our offices,
Yeah.
Did you see that?
here and San Diego.
Mhm.
But this is mostly in our role, like
ChatGPT
representative
I think it's
offices, where that's where we, go for opportunistic clients.
But are you at like the incubator, or are you like at your house?
No, we are a mature company, we are over 6 years.
Video.
Yeah.
Of revenue
Yes.
profit.
No, but I meant, like, do you have a physical
Yeah.
office in Tulsa?
No, I'm still here.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I don't need that.
But I mean.
Yeah, no, I didn't know if you were.
Yeah, once we have more engineers in location, we will open up. So
Because
Yeah.
I'm right at the point where I feel like.
this is not gaming
Okay,
space, so we
maybe
do
this
some
is
foreign stuff
Yeah.
happening.
sometimes. you
And
know,
then
like-
if it's like,
like
oh,
the
no, by the
platform
way, you
development,
can replace
integration of
all that.
Salesforce,
Mhm.
this kind of stuff.
My friend wants to know who's your
No,
favorite.
but that's why I spend up the R&D.
Is it
Uh,
boring
patches.
though, or is there because there's challenges there?
That actor, he
Right.
did so much
I mean,
in
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Like,
but
all of the
comparison
actors
to
were
the-
brilliant, but the way it was recorded was.
Imagine,
Yeah.
imagine you dive into the code of
a
a 20
table,
years old.
and there
Oh,
was
yeah.
the animation lead and the
I mean,
one of the game
I understand
directors,
the pain for
and they would
engineers.
play
I've been
the
doing it
audio
myself.
line
Yeah.
for
But
that,
they are like,
for that character.
See, guys, I
And,
know
the line
this
was
is
between,
like,
like,
banking or some
5
sort of
and
stuff.
15 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I hear it once, and then we have a
Sometimes we
dry
have,
run, and then we
like
record,
Ruby on
and then we move
Rails,
on. And so I've got to like lip sync and act it
Yeah.
within 3
So
takes,
R&D
or else
lab
it's
is
scrapped,
kind
and
of,
we're
the
going over
incubator
time.
for them. They were
It took like
doing
5
experiments.
days of 8-hour
We
days. of
created
just
like an
that.
iBot,
It was brutal, but anyway, all of the characters were just so easy, just listening to those voice actors.
I just
just
combined
like
some
really sink
what I
into
can.
it and
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
mimic
rest
the
of that-
face motions that they needed.
So
But the guy
if you're
who played
doing
Patches, I don't know
enterprise,
what it was.
are you
There was some
are you
special
have
sauce
international
in there.
clients or are they US
It
based
just-
clients?
He has
Mostly
this like
US.
smarmy.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, some of them.
I don't know if you have you
Yeah.
have any of you guys
So we
played
have
Demon
clients
Souls or any
Jersey,
of the Souls
the
games?
new one?
Canada,
Mhm.
Yeah.
digital media.
I have
also
Dark
have
Souls Remastered on my
transportation
library
logistics
and
client.
Elden
Different
Ring.
company.
And also Patches
Right.
is like a recurring
Different
character.
kinds.
So
Okay, so it's all
salesman
over.
that-
It's not.
I know.
We have
Okay, yeah,
focus.
and
So
He's
we
got, like,
you
no
know, build the
eyebrows.
backend
Yeah,
for one
and
startup
he
in
just had
automotive
this, like,
space.
Mhm.
So there are
You
cool,
know
cool
from the
things,
first
you know,
line, he's gonna
yeah,
stab you in the
gaming is
back,
just-
but
Yeah.
he's just so
Yeah, yeah.
I
charming.
just came here
And
to
so
check
it
out.
was so fun to
Mhm.
play him and to like
So you guys.
get in there and
yeah.
have this kind of like
I play myself
slimy,
because part of my
but
job is
welcoming, like a
lots
used
of
car dealer
you
kind
know,
of thing. And
situations where I need to deal with people.
Let's see,
Mhm.
what
Just, yeah,
are you afraid
you know,
of?
you know,
I'm
this
gonna
is my
steal
time.
you. So
Yeah.
So I open up the
they-
book.
Yeah.
We can
Latest,
trust
what
each other,
really got my
right?
imagination is this place.
Now I think I
Yeah.
remember. Now that you're doing that,
You know,
now I
I'm
think I
just-
vaguely remember.
First
Even though I've never
part,
played any of them,
second
I have seen
part,
videos. Now I think I
I
vaguely
really
remember.
love the
He's-
music. I really love
and
the
this one, he's
atmosphere,
all bald,
and
and he's
just
got
the
kinda like
idea,
this-
you know, those rats turning into some,
These
you know,
big wide eyes
Yeah.
and this big grin, and he just
it was
looks around and he
amazing.
goes,
Sometimes
"You're
it's
all
creepy,
these-
sometimes it's ugly, you know, like
Yeah.
this.
By the way, you can go.
I've been to France and.
Yeah.
It's not that I need
part of
it,
that.
just if you have it,
So-
I have it too.
Yeah, you know, combining that and cool technologies nowadays, especially.
It's just so
Really-
fun. So all credit to that voice actor. He
Yeah.
made it so easy to
And
do that
I
job.
graduated in computer science, but I never did.
Yeah.
But there were other ones.
QA. I mean,
Man, this one,
I tested
Stockpile
well,
Thomas,
Yeah.
the Southern character, he's
but
in the
I
main
never
Nexus
designed
area.
Yeah.
And I think
So
he's one of
now
the
I can do
vendors.
what I can
And
do.
he talks about like losing his whole family to the demon invasion. He
Okay,
got me
so
crying in the, like, in
say
the space.
You have an
the-
unlimited
the
budget,
animation
and whatever
director-
project you do is going to be a
and I
success. It's going to make
really boosted
buku
the
funds,
tears out.
like tons of
I was
money.
like, yes, that was
What's
me
what sort of
acting.
games would you make at your game company?
What did you say your name was?
Good
Have one of these
Justin
yet?
Meyer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This is the name of the game?
That's my name. That's what
Have you ever done like an animation?
Really?
Out of like a game?
I know, I would love to. though.
What's the name of
Thank
that
you.
game you showed?
That one is Urban Entrepreneur, but if you search up Archcon on Steam, you can find it.
Okay,
Cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what made me remember is that like, oh,
Hey,
this
thanks.
is-
Honestly,
Yeah, man, it's nice meeting
I'm
you.
gonna go catch a movie at AMC.
Max, have fun, enjoy the movie. It was really nice to meet
Nice to
you.
meet you.
What's the one?
You still go to movies? huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are you in the Discord?
Yeah, I just
Okay,
joined
cool.
today. I just
Okay,
joined it. Civil War.
You came
Oh,
out?
nice.
Yeah, today.
Oh, I thought that was until next month. My bad.
Yeah, it's got good reviews, so I'm excited.
Yeah, well, the guys that made it are like,
Yeah.
they're not gonna screw it up.
Yeah.
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 Enjoy.
Yeah, man, have fun.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
All right, so what's the
Thanks,
game?
likewise.
Never thought. You haven't thought how you want to be a success? You know, like,
Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
one.
No, I never.
figured out.
Any, actually. So,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really think, you know, obviously,
Thank you very much.
how you measure the
Justin
success.
Meyer is
You know,
for
if you
hire.
measure by the money,
It
I
rhymes
will
for a
do something
reason.
like contraception.
Yeah,
So that's what called you to do. I was so disappointed. Right, this Call of Duty, you know, Modern Warfare. This is Counter-Strike. And everybody's playing. it.
No,
This is
I
the
love
thing.
being.
So answering your question,
guys.
if we measure everything, yeah. If we measure. Wow.
These are
That
non-alcoholic,
was
I
intense.
swear.
Keep on down.
I think.
No, it says 0, but you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you could cheat.
We could cheat.
Here in my Steam database, so I don't forget them in my
Oh,
wallet.
that's cool.
I love everyone's.
I was
cards.
torn between being shocked and laughing at the same time. I was
get
like, let's
everybody's
go.
personality really easy immediately. Makes it fun.
Yeah, so something like Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike, yeah.
So
If
what's
you
your
take a
primary
look at the
program
ratings,
for 3D?
Yeah.
still. So Minecraft was cool, but I still don't
So
get it.
powerful.
They can do a million different kinds of things.
If we
I
measure
was trying to
success
learn
by
Maya
the story,
and it was kicking
imagination,
my butt, but I
release, kind of
People are
know-how,
trying to kind
you
of.
know, then it should be some
They,
studio with
they
with a
seem
know-how.
to be,
So
but I
what's
like
interesting
Blenders.
about the studio from France, that their engine
Yeah, it's got a good.
technology sits in the
Somebody got plugged
Microsoft
into.
simulator, flight simulator.
Steadily learning how to.
So that
like,
would
get
be
it
another
taken
kind of
care
the success to measure.
Oh, yeah,
You
that's
can
all we're
replicate the
challenge.
success of one game into other games
Yeah.
of different kinds.
Besides, you gotta
So,
know what's your favorite
depending
thing
on what you
model,
chase.
even if it's not something that like took off or was famous.
At least this,
I try to
my
find
perspective,
characters that don't
not,
already have models.
you know, like
That's one
making
thing
money,
that I
it's one
was the
thing.
first one to
You
make
know,
that.
doing like combining that together, that's way different.
I'm trying to get
Yeah.
more into animation, so I can
Because
actually
nowadays, you
show
take a
off
look
the
on the
model a
Steam,
bit.
tons
Oh,
of
that's
crap.
super cool.
Showing a
Tons
model
of crap,
kind
you
of
know, you
still
never
kind
played that.
Yeah.
Or you play sometimes and you shut it down,
Jody,
sometimes
I
you just
said
cannot
it.
get it, right? But
I
people
just-
play it. Like, yeah,
I posted in the,
so
art
that's a good question. Cannot answer this straightforward.
Okay.
Yes, right now.
That's it.
Still printed my cards and we just arrived.
That's all right.
You made a 3D
But I don't know if
Yoshi?
you were-
Yeah.
Do you want regular cards or do you want super fancy
He's
cards?
one of my favorite characters.
Super fancy.
Okay.
If you can't demote him anymore, it would be better than firing him.
This
Like
is,
something solid, you know, for the business.
yeah, so you want moo.com.
Uh-huh.
These people, you go here. This is the fancy, get them embroidered.
If I have any need for.
Yeah, well, yeah, like watermark. These are like 50 cards is $30. Like these are fancy. But what I liked about, so that's their high-end business cards. Where are,
Yeah,
Constrain them to bones and stuff. It's kind of cool.
it
they
is
used
so
to
cool.
have,
I was checking
these
out
were the
some,
fun
like,
ones. So these are mini
markerless smoke
cards.
out tests where they just have, like,
So they're
an
small.
array of
On one side, it's all the
Yeah,
exact
it's
same
like-
thing. But on the other one, every single back side of it can be something totally different. So I was doing a photography business, so every single card was its own photo. So everyone got a unique card.
Their new
And so
suit
those stick out. And then you can also do
markerless,
different
but
things
it's
on
all,
them. But they're fancy Lux.
what's it called?
Uh,
Inertial,
man, I'm trying to find.
inertial reading.
Yeah, you can
I
do
don't
like
know
the
what
bigger
they-
sizes.
Yeah,
But like
but
different
the
finishes and stuff like
accelerators are,
that. So I like
woven
moo.com.
in.
That's where you get the
It's
fancy
so,
ones.
so it
What
looks
was
like
the
you're
other one
just
they were
wearing
using, like
body
Vistaprint?
glue, like
Vistaprint
there's
is
no
if you
dots,
need
no markers at all.
100 cards
And
made
it picks
tonight
up
and have
every
it by Monday morning.
Yeah,
This is
Yeah.
So who is like the
We are
highest
chat, they
quality,
had,
like
like,
you can make it
trackers.
as detailed as you want, like.
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
But that's just
Watermarks.
You
Just
would probably
the
do
suit.
Moo, but I would. You're better off going to a local print
Yeah,
shop and
I
then
love
letting them
the
do it.
new tech that's coming out.
Alright, basically, where it's kind of like.
Yeah.
It makes the job so much easier, because if you have markers,
Yeah.
like you've got to worry about losing a marker, or you don't want to block somebody else's marker from, because even though you have like a camera array, if the infrared font is
See, I used to
blocked
do
in any
Moo.
way, or if you shadow it.
People, they
Yeah.
don't really use
Lose a
business
marker.
card. Like I gave you a business card, you're probably not
So
going
like
to
you have to
follow.
choreograph.
You
like,
never know.
where everybody's
I
markers are
will
beautiful.
mark your phone number.
I don't have to.
Yeah,
and that's
But
how
you'd be
easy.
surprised how many
Did
people
you
never
ever have to worry
contact or
about
anything. Like you go to a
different things,
convention or
like
something
I know
like that.
that.
Yeah,
I've
so
been to
backward.
so that's why I used to get the really nice ones. Now
There's
I'm like,
enough
no, I'm doing the Vistaprint.
leeway,
'Cause you're
especially
not
with
gonna
things like
use
Motion
We
Builder,
actually got rid of,
where
many
if a
conferences
marker
because
is
of that.
not exactly where it
What
used
we
to be
do,
set,
you
as
know, I
long as the
invested
computer
in the
knows that
small
it's
team
there
of
for
lead
that case.
generation for
You
our
should be
business
fine.
admin.
If you
So
a
they
marker
do
moves
the
during
reach
the
out
cake, though,
and
you
we
got.
make like the
Thing.
personal connection.
That's something.
Yeah.
You know,
It is
that's
funny though,
how
like
it's
if you
supposed
have
to
a
be
marker
done.
come off, you see
Because
the
in our
mark
business that
Oh,
works like that.
stretch
Do you guys
You know,
see
the
like
conferences
a
are
little
right.
screen, like
For
what
example,
you're
you
doing?
know,
Sometimes there
all
are
the time
live,
this is like a selling guy.
Hmm.
So they
monitors
just
and other
represent
times.
the company, but they need to sell to you.
So it
Yeah.
depends
And
on
this is
what you're
just
doing.
mismatch.
I think that'd be fun to see
Yeah.
what you're doing on the screen.
Cool.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
though, you, like you.
So you guys, you know, gather from time to time, right? It's not like regular.
It's
down to
the
the right. and then
second
put a monitor
Thursday of
like,
every
oh,
month.
sorry.
Thursday.
So we're the second
Yeah, that's-
Thursday.
Oh, no, that's regular. Okay.
So
I
it's
wanted to make sure
same
that, like,
time.
the faces
And then if you decide you're going to use a game engine,
all of Demon's
we,
Souls,
the
they had
Unity
a
group
GoPro
is
on
the
a head
third
rig.
Thursday,
Yeah,
or
it's
third
Right
Tuesday
here,
of every
I did
month.
the whole.
And then third
shoot,
Thursday is Unreal
sitting.
Engine.
One for Goda?
But
You want to
they had
start? We'll
this little-
start. I'll
just a
post it
little,
on the
like,
thing.
Hold on the desk, and so I just like checked down there, and I'm like,
The-
They're playing big for Unity and Unreal, but there's only like one other guy here.
You know what I thought
Yeah.
about your game? It would be
Because
cool
they
enough
did
to beat
do,
AI.
they did head tracking for the characters instead of eye tracking, and so they needed me to just spike the camera, just keep my eyes.
So are you going
Yeah,
more
center,
for video
as
game
much as
tech
possible.
than if you're going to do something here? Like, you're saying the technology, like, oh, these
The
people.
tracking tech
I think
did
so. Yeah, that would be
have
a
people
good
tracking,
investment.
so like if a
Have you-
character rolls their eyes or something.
I don't know how much money you
it's
make,
in
but
there,
like they have a
wanted
Tinto
me to then
capital.
lock back on
I
because
haven't eaten
the way
them.
they
I
have
just, you know,
the
I just
character
started
heads follow
Yeah.
the player.
building
that makes
relationships.
sense.
So like if the character head follows the
Because
player, but their eyes are
they do.
looking
I used to
somewhere
work
else,
with them.
it-
I was
yeah.
an intern there. They're really nice.
So it's fun.
But they're-
I can't wait to do it again.
They don't invest.
Yeah, I'm open.
What they do.
Thanks.
Sort of.
It's so much to love in the draw. Like,
There's
I-
Bottle, which is a
he
really
was in,
awesome. That's the company I worked with. They
Jedi
make educational
Jedi
software,
Jedi?
and so they're really cool. And they have a lot of people
The
that
first
do
one or the second one?
different types of software and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I will admit that.
and,
We'll see.
but he,
My, you know, so far,
he has had
understanding
the
of
major
tools,
vocab
this is a
booking
great.
in that time period, so like,
Yeah.
Still,
it
it
really
is
is
not
fun.
big, but
There's
the
so
ingredients are
much.
right.
Mhm.
you know, so
outside of your
to
control.
replicate.
Yeah.
So like
you know,
Demon's
it's
Souls,
not about
I mean,
like
hope
being
but
second.
it might be my biggest game.
It's about
Period. And
actually getting
I'm okay with that as
connected,
long as I
you
get
know,
something to
right.
figure out.
Yeah, as long as I
And
get
even
to keep
here,
making
like
stuff
with the
with
six
cool
M is
people.
interesting.
Yeah.
You know, what they've
That
done.
being
I've
said,
been to another building
I would
today.
love to do another game with that
It's
scale.
really
or something
bright
like that,
idea
so.
to
Are you
get
still in contact
with Sony?
companies.
I
you know,
like I have the casting director's
Yeah.
email,
And,
and I if I
Yeah.
have auditioned
So
for
Oh,
them,
like this, all of that, all of this is
But I
from
haven't
the George
by
Kaisers.
Sony.
They are the ones that.
Yeah, I know.
Right. Okay.
I
Yeah.
just did
So now you
an
know.
audition for
Apparently, there's also the Hardesties.
for another major
They're
company.
the, they do a lot of nonprofit
that
stuff,
was
but
like, it
also
got to round two.
very similar.
And then
So it's
now I'm in
like
touch
four
with that
super
casting
really
director, so
rich
they know my
people
work.
that live here, kind of run everything.
It's just kind of
like past oil.
if they
Yeah,
remember
past
you,
oil.
and if you impress them at the
And
time, and
then-
if you're exactly what they're looking
So
for, and
the,
you
they're trying to work on
out
the
of
post
the
post oil
thousands of
future of
actors,
Tulsa.
can do the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
This might be a little bit of a topic change, but there is a reason for it. Have you ever heard of
I
that
think
show
they're
called
pushing it.
Lucifer?
I know the city's putting a lot of effort into drones and
I had a
things like
sister in college.
things like that. So the like
She's
if you have a
best friend with me. Oh, cool. So
yeah, but they're trying to be like, okay, we're going to train.
I'm always open.
if ever.
Like we have a lot of
Sure, yeah,
aerospace stuff out here.
I am
'Cause,
always.
you know, we're so because American Airlines, their big base is there. We've been seeing
I've got a
that.
full service remote.
Yeah, so like
here,
American Airlines, they're
But I can
we're
also
all-
and have
their planes that they repaired, they're repaired here.
What's it like working
And so,
remote anyway?
like Owasso is pretty much all American Airlines employees that repair
But
and do
also,
stuff like that.
like,
So they're trying to get a lot
tight
of
budget
the
because
drone world of like, okay,
if
bring
I'm
people.
not,
I mean, I'm assuming even the Techstars is down there. Like they're trying to do anything
They're
related to that
sacrificing
also. So that seems to be
So,
the
like,
thing
I-
that they think is
I
popular.
don't have
and
one of those
their
cushy
gold
remote
mine that
jobs
they're
where
going
it's like,
for.
this pays all of my bills forever.
Now we understand.
I've got to do other stuff. I have a day job.
Fortunately, in Ukraine, we have
Almost
all
every
kinds of
actor I know.
drones.
Yeah.
Right. Even like,
AI
one of my mentors.
Yeah.
Like
That's
they
scary.
they have to do like classes
It's
for other actors. So like they'll teach
Mhm.
other actors how to do
So
performance
Russia
capture things
didn't
like that.
Yeah.
Because they gotta eat
China
too.
helped.
Yeah.
But they've been in like every.
We have those
His motto is "You probably killed me,"
everywhere.
Mhm.
because he was
Saying,
he
you
was
know,
in
to
like
learn from the
most of
from their
Valve's
perspective is
things
how quickly
from
they
Left
actually
4 Dead back.
Mhm.
So
you know,
like
like not just
pre
from the development,
pre Left 4 Dead
like,
2.
but actually funded.
Mhm.
So
What's
Ukraine
his
did,
name?
you know,
Richard
we crowdsourced
Richard
to fund it.
Dorson.
There is a platform.
Richard, he was in the
called
Mortal
Monobank.
Kombats. He's in
Mhm.
Online
Godzilla.
banking system. And this it doesn't go like an actual bank, it's like a credit union.
For Godzilla?
Yeah.
That's why
I'm
it
not
is
sure.
super fast, you know.
He was
bootstrap money,
King Ghidorah.
you know, and we
So he was one of the
you know,
heads
collected
of
from all
the
the
three-headed
countries,
beast.
you know,
But
buying
another one
stuff
of my
very
teachers
quickly.
Yeah.
was actually
That's how we
Godzilla himself.
you know, Russia
And
was indeed,
but they
you know,
in the casting they
war
wouldn't tell him because it was all NDA'd.
now
And so they were like,
Yeah.
all right, we need you to be like, give us like a T-Rex style performance.
Well, I have-
and he goes, okay.
My
And they're like,
family
"Nah, we're
does a
not
lot
seeing
of
it."
church, like it's all
Can you make
churches
it, like,
and religion
what
is their
T-Rex is
industry.
like?
And so they know a bunch of missionaries
Okay,
there
now
in the
just pretend
Ukraine.
you're like stepping on
And
something.
so
and he
they're
goes,
still over there.
Yeah.
"Am I
So the people I
Godzilla?"
know, so
And
it's
he
like,
says all the
it's kind of
producers
scary.
go like,
I mean, fair
Also,
enough.
it's really good.
Yeah.
Seems a bit obvious.
But then-
yes.
Yeah, motion capture actor in
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead 1 and 2.
He's
Place where we
been in
are,
everything.
it's
He's so
mostly
good.
like, you know,
And in the new
you can
God,
have
and in
quiet
God of War
time,
20.
and then like
Oh,
missiles
nice.
flying,
He's
you know.
been in everything. He's so good.
Yeah.
I really do
Drones,
look up to him.
Speaking about that,
And then one of the other
1 year
teachers,
or 2
he
years,
was
more, you know,
he was most
all
of
this
the
technology
mocap
is-
James
they will
Bond.
be
He was
civilized.
Master Chief.
Beef, of course, you know, not
Um,
global
his name is
scale problems.
Yeah.
Oliver Hollis Fleck. He's just one of the nicest people as well. He's just so cool.
Yeah.
It's like,
And they're great, but like
on the
they
side of
give
work.
courses, they give classes because
you know, that this is
unfortunately in
horrible
this
stuff,
business
but technology
you don't get
output is
residuals
massive, right?
and
Yeah.
Super crazy, you know.
you do the job.
One engineer,
So like
you know,
Sony
one
paid my
engineer
rent
is
for a
about
year.
4 or 5
Mhm.
people, you know,
That
created
wasn't they
this
didn't say we will pay you
Android
for a year.
application,
The amount
to
that
measure the
the
proximity
amount
of
that
the
they gave
artillery.
me
Mhm.
So device to
covered me for
device, you know,
2019.
into location to geolocation.
But then
they
I haven't had
do like
a
exact
job that
meter,
big.
you know, proximity of the
So-
enemy.
That's just kind of
Yeah.
the business.
You know,
Yeah,
that's-
yeah, it's like
it is under
contract and
this
freelance
NDAs
work
and
is
stuff,
like,
but we know
it can be
because
pretty
this is,
awesome
you
to
know, you live
do,
in the
but
country.
you have to like stay on top of it all the time.
Yeah, for sure. And
We
the
got
hustle is
5 minutes
real.
left, so I gotta start tearing everything down. So I'm gonna turn off the
But
live
I'm
stream,
excited to meet all
everyone.
of
Good
you
luck
guys,
to you.
And I really hope we can all make something cool
It was
together.
cool
and I
talking to you
can't
though,
wait to
man.
see what you guys make because, like, yeah.